Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're making a 2-ingredient peanut butter fudge. Now this recipe's going around for a while. Lots of folks have been doing it, and being one of those old cooks who does everything the hard way, I was kind of reluctant to try this. But so many people were swearing it was delicious, I had to try it, and when I tried it, I had to share it with you. Because you talk about easy, and it is delicious. All you need are equal parts peanut butter and frosting. You either need vanilla frosting or cream cheese frosting. And you can use creamy or crunchy peanut butter. And you could probably even do something like a caramel frosting. I was getting ready to do this and I was thinking, I wonder what this would taste like with caramel in it. But anyway, that's another video. And you know, if you want some crunch in your peanut butter fudge, use crunchy. You can do whatever you want. It's your fudge. But all we're going to do is we are going to slightly melt these in the microwave so that we can stir them together. Now, the only way you can mess this up is to overheat it. If you're using full power in your microwave, do it for 30 seconds at a time. And then, well, do it for 30 seconds and then do it for like 10 or 15 seconds after that. I have a melt soften cycle on my microwave, and it does like half power, 60% power for 60 seconds, and that's what I'm using. But like I said, if you're doing full power, start with 30 seconds, because if you overheat it, it separates the fats in your peanut butter and in your frosting, and it's not going to set up. So let's get these melted in the microwave one at a time, either 30 seconds at a time or your melt soften. While that's melting or softening, I want to tell you about some things that we have coming up. We started doing live streams recently, and I'm very, very awkward at them, but Alex is going to be joining me on the 12th, and we're going to do some gift baskets because she is incredibly talented. Every holiday that comes up, she puts together thoughtful little gift baskets for everybody she knows pretty much. So we're going to be showing you how to do that on the 12th in a live stream, and she's going to be joining me. And then on the 19th, we're going to do a live stream where we pack up a bunch of our candy and cookies and goodies to give to people. I'm sending a whole bunch to people and stuff like that. And we're going to be doing that. So be sure and mark your calendar for Tuesday the 12th and Tuesday the 19th at 6. And we're going to be doing those Christmas live streams. Okay, you can see here just that 60 seconds soften melt cycle. This is very melted. So that's plenty enough. And if you're doing it full power, 30 seconds will probably do it. And you don't want it any more melted than this. Now it does kind of have some lumps still left in the middle. That's okay. If you get it any more melted, you're going to separate the fats in it. And like I said, that's going to keep it from setting up. And that's just the only way you can mess it up. And it doesn't matter which one you put in your bowl first or anything like that. Just don't overheat it. And the peanut butter's melted. Now you can see it's not like totally runny. That's okay. It's melted enough to mix. And that's all we want to do is melt it enough to mix it. You don't have to get it totally liquefied. I probably could have done that for another 15 seconds, but doing it for another 15 seconds would have only made it take longer in the refrigerator before I could cut it and enjoy it. And why wait if you don't have to? Okay, now we're just going to stir this until it's combined. And it's literally that simple. I really am not even sure you have to melt it at all, but melting it a little bit does make it much easier to mix together. So, you know, just be careful. And you can see it's got that nice fudge shine, just like the slow cooked fudge has, and it's all mixed together. There's not any more white streaks or anything. So we're going to pour this in a 9x9 pan. And you can put some butter in it, you know, and put it in there. But the parchment paper will save you a ton of work, makes it really easy to get out. And I've actually made 3 batches of fudge in this pan already today. And I have not washed it. I've just put a new piece of parchment paper in it. And once it gets hard, you could take it out of this and put it in a gallon Ziploc bag or something. And it takes up way less room in your refrigerator. And if you're making a whole bunch to give away as gifts, that saves a ton of room in your refrigerator because you've just got the fudge stacked instead of the fudge and pans. Kind of spread it out there a little bit. Normally I leave my parchment paper up a little bit higher, so I've got something to grab a hold of and lift it out. But I trimmed it down so that when I was doing this to show all of y'all, I wasn't having to wrestle the parchment paper that was falling into my fudge. That's why my parchment paper is so small. But it's gonna get really firm, and it's gonna be really easy to lift out, so I've got enough of an edge that I'll be able to lift it out. And that's literally all there is to it, except putting it in the refrigerator for an hour or two and letting it firm up. Now you can keep this for, I don't know, probably a couple weeks in an airtight container in the fridge. You can cut it and sit it out and serve it, and it can stay sitting out all day long and it'll be fine. You know, if you're doing parties or something, or taking it and giving it to folks that you work with, or sending it to your kids' teachers at school, which is something I did every single year. You can, you know, you can wrap it up and send it. Wrap it up airtight though if you're sending it somewhere. So let's put this in the fridge for a couple hours and then see what it looks like when it's firm. Okay, this is what our peanut butter fudge looks like when it's firm and it's all set up. And you can see it's not stuck even to the parchment paper. And it sets up really nice. Just don't overheat it. And over here, I told you I'd made 3 batches of fudge and put it in that pan. This is some of our 2-ingredient chocolate fudge that we have up, and we use sweetened condensed milk in this recipe. I'll link that. We have a whole bunch of really easy candies that you don't even have to know how to cook. This is our chocolate peanut butter pinwheel fudges that we just put up. And if you don't have one of these pizza cutters, I highly recommend it for candy and stuff, especially for fudge. I use it for everything. I got mine from a school fundraiser, but it makes it super easy to cut it in nice little even pieces. And if you're giving it away, cutting it in nice little even pieces is a good idea, because if you give away great big chunks, you're not going to get many gifts out of a pound of fudge. Now, all this fudge that I have here, I have made it for about $2 a pound. You do have to shop sales to make it for that. But I've got this gift tin here, and I got some little paper cups to put it in. And, you know, like this one, I've got some stuffing in the bottom of it to take up a little bit of room, because I was just using it for a demonstration. But I could fill this tin full and give that away, and it would probably have 2 pounds of fudge in it anyway, for only about $6 or $7. And if you bought that somewhere, especially a pretty container with the little paper cups and the fudge and stuff in it, it would cost a fortune. You're probably looking at $25, $30 at least, maybe more than that, even if you bought it in a grocery store. So one of the things that Alex and I are going to be doing on the 19th is showing you some different ways to pack up your homemade goodies and offer them to folks as gifts, or give them as gifts. And it's, you know, it's a way of sharing more than just candy. It's a way of sharing love, really. Even though these aren't the old-fashioned ones, it's still something that you stood in the kitchen, you took the time to make, and you took the time to serve. And homemade gifts are great. And for those folks who have everything, they're not going to have to find something to do with this, or they're not going to have to just hang on to it out of an obligation because it was a gift that was given to them. It will be gone. So people really do like getting homemade gifts. My chocolate's not quite, it has not been refrigerated long enough. And if you watched the video where I made these, you know I didn't leave those in the fridge long enough when I was making the video either. But this sets up really firm and really nice too, just like the peanut butter does. So whichever way you choose to make it, if you want to use the sweetened condensed milk or the frosting, it's a super easy way to make candy and give it as gifts. So I'm going to link the video to these other desserts and all of our homemade candy. We've got Martha Washington candy, peanut brittle, potato candy, all kinds of other fudges, divinity, cream-filled chocolates, peppermint patties, just all kinds of candy. And I'm going to link all that. So you've got all that stuff to make. And the peppermint patties and the cream-filled chocolates, they're also no bake, no cook, super easy. So is the potato candy, and it's delicious. So make some candy for folks this year and save yourself some money. If you are a regular viewer and you've been following the channel, you know that we are reading Luke, the book of Luke, a chapter a day from December 1st to December 24th, which will take us from Christ's conception to his ascension into heaven and through his ministry, and really kind of put us in the mood for Christmas when it gets here. And before we leave today, I want to share out of Luke 7, since today is the 7th, verse 48 and part of 50. And he said unto her, Thy sins are forgiven, thy faith has saved thee, go in peace. Which is Christ's ministry. And it is the gift that God the Father gave us on Christmas. He gave his Son so that our sins could be forgiven and we could live in peace. And that is what Christmas is all about. I want to thank you all so much for joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. And before we go, I want to ask you to please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I want to wish all of the Jewish members of the Hillbilly Kitchen family a very happy Hanukkah. And remind you all to put God first always.